26-year-old Andrew Forster might be born and bred in the northeast, but he's passionate about Italian food. As head chef of a popular restaurant, Andrew's reached the top of the cooking game.
I love to cook. I love to present food, make it, everything to do with it.
Happy in his job and engaged to be married, Andrew seems to have it all. But his life is far from normal, because for 26 years, the only thing Andrew Forster has ever eaten is biscuits.
Never tried to eat out, I'll just bring it back up, I'll just vomit, wrench it, and come back up somehow. Just can't hit the back of your throat, I just can't have anything in there. And all my life, all I've had is just biscuits.
Unless Andrew changes his ways, he risks serious health problems. Getting him to beat his addictions will be the job of psychologist Stephen Briers and nutritionist Natalie Savona. Natalie's job is to encourage him to eat new foods.
I can just sort of see that you're raring to go rather than going, oh, yuck, fish.
While Stephen will try to show Andrew that changing his ways is as easy as riding a bike.
Are you having some kind of problem there, Andrew?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Over the next 4 weeks, they'll try to reverse a lifetime of bad eating habits.
Table 5, one bruschetta asparagus.
Andrew Forster works long and demanding hours as head chef of Sale Pepe, a busy Italian restaurant near his hometown of Consett. His menu draws in customers from miles around, but what they don't know is that while the chef loves cooking their food, he's not able to actually eat any of it.
It's really frustrating that I can't eat my own food. I just don't like it. I can't eat it. It does me head in. One of the reasons why I became a chef was because I thought being in a kitchen with all them ingredients would help with me eating problem with the biscuits. But it hasn't worked out like that way. Ali, will you come taste the sauces? I have a couple of special tasters that always taste my food, so they get the same quality all the time. I've got a good intuition for what I'm doing, so it's always right when it comes out the door.
Andrew has never eaten meat, fish, fruit or vegetables. Even his packed lunch is a 5-year-old's dream.
Can't wait for my favourites. A toffee crisp, a Kit Kat, a double-decker, shortcake thing, Mars bar, and just some different kinds of biscuits. It's quite a lot in it.
At home, Andrew's fiancée, Caroline, does her best to encourage him to try new foods.
Try some of that.
No.
But she rarely succeeds.
I mean, I tend to get a no because I think, well, just eat it, try it. There's nothing wrong with it. Why aren't eating it? I mean, personally, I don't know myself. I don't know why I can't eat it. I just think he's being awkward.
It's a problem Andrew's mum, Anne, is all too familiar with. And as a nurse, her biggest worry is his health.
There's a lot of heart disease in our family. I mean, my father died when he was 60, and his brother's dead, and his sister's dead, and his other brothers had a triple bypass. So it is in the family.
To reduce the adverse effects of his high-fat, high-sugar diet, Andrew follows a tough fitness regime.
I come to the gym about 3 times a week. And if I come to the gym, I sort of balance unhealthy with healthy and trying to work some of the sugar and stuff off.
He likes to go to the gym a lot to think, oh, it's improving his health. He takes a lot of vitamins, actually.
In fact, Andrew takes 10 different pills every day.
I've got multivitamins with probiotics, I've got cod liver oil, I've got iron, I've got vitamin C.
Despite all the supplements, Andrew's energy levels are still all over the place.
Sometimes I'm like high as a kite, I'm like jumping around like a lunatic, and most of the time I'm just like, oh, bloody hell, I'm knackered. And that's quite a lot of the time.
Until now, all Andrew's attempts to try new foods have failed. But he'll spend the next 4 weeks working with the experts in an attempt to overcome his eating problem.
Health is the top issue here. I know for a fact when I get to, like, I don't know, 40, 50, I think that's when the serious problems will happen. I've got determination to do something about it. It's got to be done. You've got to do it now. It's either now or never.
It's day 1, and Andrew has been summoned to London for his first meeting with nutritionist Natalie and psychologist Stephen. He's about to begin the long road away from biscuits and towards healthier living.
Well, the thing we have to remember is that Andrew's been eating like this for 26 years, so these habits are really ingrained. And I just hope that what we've got planned today is going to be enough to give him the push that he needs.
The problem of a diet that's just restricted to biscuits is not just the biscuits themselves, but all the nourishment that you're missing out on, which your body needs to survive. Andrew, hi there.
Hi, good
Hello.
to meet you. How are you feeling about all this?
Got butterflies and nerves. All right, though.
Before they begin their work, Natalie and Stephen have a surprise for Andrew, which they hope will focus his mind.
I don't think any of us are under any illusions that what you're going to try and do is going to be pretty tough. So in order to try and crank your motivation levels up, we've got a few messages here from other people who care pretty deeply about whether you succeed.
Hi Andrew, I just wanted to wish you luck. It does bother me that we don't go out with friends and family or do anything because you just want to avoid the fact that we've got to have a meal.
You know, all this time, all these years that we've wasted not being able to spend time together, want to get ourselves a bit more closer. You know, we'll go out for meals together. But you've got to be eating the right stuff, mate, to sort that out.
For years and years we've tried to get you to eat a normal diet, and you know that if you could actually achieve it, we'd all be really happy.
I would like you to obviously be around as long as I am, and I fear that you won't be because of the way you eat.
If you're eating this type of food, you're not going to be getting the nutrients you need. And, you know, you could end up ill, end up losing you too soon. I didn't want to do that.
Andrew, if you can achieve this, I can't say in words what it would mean to us, because I feel guilt. I feel it must have been something I did. And I'd love you to be able to just crack this on and be able to eat like the rest of us.
What was it like for you watching that?
At first I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but it really hit home.
Well, clearly a lot of them are worried about the implications for your health, and that is something that you worry about, isn't it?
It's on my mind all the time, but it's like locked in the back. I really think about, but certain issues bring it up, and then
Had you realised quite how guilty your mother felt?
I've never realised that she felt that bad.
Yeah. Lots of good reasons to go forward, but it is going to be hard for you, and I hope that when things do get difficult, that's something that kind of can keep you going.
Before leaving, Natalie and Stephen have one last nutritional wake-up call for Andrew.
You've made a record for us of what you eat. Have you any idea how many biscuits you get through in, say, a year?
No idea whatsoever.
So let's just have a look at what that does look like. Chef? So... You think that's a lot?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hang on. Keep counting.
So not done.
No.
This is not right, this.
That's it now.
Is this serious?
It's actually 6,000 biscuits a year that you're eating. And that's about 4 times your body weight in biscuits. And statistically, you're having at least 7 times the amount of sugar that is ideal.
I mean, what do you feel looking at this right here in front of you? What's your reaction?
I'm speechless. Obviously, just a few a day, but when you look at it, I guess you're like, oh, bloody hell, there's loads.
At the end of the 4 weeks we've got to work with you, what would you like to achieve?
What I would like to do is cook a meal for my family and just enjoy it. I think that's a good enough goal to aim for.
So one meal that you can eat with your family as part of a kind of normal eating social experience, yeah?
Yeah.
OK. Well, I think that sounds like a realistic challenge, I hope. I think it's going to be quite a tough one for you to achieve, but we will do everything we can to help you get there.
Yeah.
Andrew now has just 1 month to try and overcome his freaky eating problem.
Andrew's a lovely guy, but I think that living this way has really undermined his confidence. I don't really question his motivation. I think he really wants to change, but I'm not sure at the moment he really believes that he's going to be able to, and that's going to be something we're going to have to work on.
Seeing his family talk about the impact of his problem on their lives, I think really did shake him up a lot more than we might have thought. I think he hadn't quite understood how much he's upsetting other people.
When I was in the cinema watching my family's clips, it was one of the most emotional things I've ever had to go through. I mean, it was heart-wrenching stuff, and I didn't realise that my eating problem is affecting everyone in my family. It's the first time in my adult life where I've had everyone's full support, and it really meant a lot to me.
Andrew might go to the gym 3 times a week and take a cocktail of vitamins. But Natalie wants to know exactly what 6,000 biscuits a year have been doing to his insides. He's off to London to get the results of his blood tests.
If the results come back and he does actually have something wrong with him, then I think like it's about time something like this has happened to you for you to realise, like, look, you've got to change your lifestyle, you've got to change your diet.
I couldn't think what how Colleen would react if something was serious. I don't know if I could tell her. I have to, but I don't know if I could.
Dr. Pixie McKenna is a GP with a special interest in eating problems. She's analysed the results of Andrew's blood tests, and this morning he and Natalie have come to hear her findings.
We've had all your blood test results back. I know there was something that you were quite concerned about yourself personally, wasn't there?
Diabetes.
Yeah. Your blood tests tested negative for diabetes, all
Yeah,
right?
that's good. That's
You're-
good news.
Yeah, you're relieved. One thing I was concerned is that your cholesterol level was over what it should be. A healthy chap of your age should have a cholesterol level of under 5, and yours was substantially over 5. So that is a worry. When you have high levels, it puts you at risk of heart disease, and that's quite a serious disease.
There are 2 sorts of cholesterol, a good sort called high-density lipoprotein, which helps the body to build cells, and a bad sort called low-density lipoprotein, which can lead to the hardening and narrowing of the arteries. Andrew has a high reading of the bad sort, and combined with his family history, this makes him a high-risk candidate for heart disease. Dr. Pixie will use vats of liquid representing healthy and unhealthy blood to illustrate to Andrew the strain he's putting on his heart.
Your heart is like a pump, okay? It pumps the blood around. I want you to pretend to be the heart, okay? You use the pump and pump the healthy blood for me through the system. Get pumping.
Without much effort, Andrew quickly pumps the liquid representing healthy blood from one container to another. With no fatty cholesterol clogging it up, it moves through the tubes with ease.
You've done it. Yeah. How was it?
Too bad.
Bring on the fatty blood. Get pumping.
The thick, gloopy liquid representing blood with high cholesterol takes far more effort to pump.
Sweat on that.
I know you have. It is, isn't it? You've had a heart attack. Thick, fatty, cholesterol-laden blood is going to put you at risk for getting heart attacks and strokes and damage to your vital organs. What I don't want you to do is leave here and go, oh my God, 999, I need an ambulance, I'm about to keel over. You don't.
Your cholesterol is slightly high, but there is a lot you can do to help lower it. And you know what one of the key things is?
Right, I know.
Stop eating all those biscuits and eat proper food.
Now is the time to do it. If you leave it and you try and do it in 10 years' time, you won't be able to.
Yeah. 26 years is a long time eating crap all the time. And I think I've got away very lightly, and it's a wake-up call, and something's going to happen now. I think I've got to change my whole lifestyle, diet, everything.
Ever since he was a toddler, Andrew has refused to eat anything but biscuits.
We'd sit down and we'd try to You know, say, well, tempt him, say, try this, Andrew, or try a bean or a potato. He'd basically just look at the plate, and we very rarely had success.
We're not quite sure where he picked it up from in the first place, because he just seemed to never get onto normal food. I remember one day we tried to give him tomato soup. That didn't go down well. And that was when he was away at the toilet. had to throw up, and that was the end of that. So.
Andrew's fussy eating was an extra strain on the family, coming as it did after the tragic death of his elder sister Jane, aged 3.
I mean, Jane was found dead in a cot, but Andrew arrived after Jane, so he didn't know her. There wasn't anything happened in his life that I can identify that could cause some kind of trauma. You know, he didn't choke on a chip or anything like that, and we were at a loss of what to actually do with him. I think the answer's going to be in his hand. We've tried our little bit. Not very well, but we've tried.
Today, Andrew has his first session with psychologist Stephen Briers. He wants to get to the root cause of his eating problems.
So what is your first memory of having difficulties around food?
My mother put us on like school dinners, and the head teacher came over and sat down with us. She says, "You're not having any dinner?" I said, "No, I don't want to." She started force feeding us the mashed potato. I've never touched it since.
So you had these eating problems from quite early on.
Mm-hmm.
How did the family respond?
Sort of like left it to my own devices, and then thought, "No, it's a phase. You'll grow out of it." But I still haven't grown out of the phase yet.
You had a sister who died, didn't she?
Yeah.
Before you were born.
Yeah. Never really spoke about it, so I thought it'd be upsetting for my mother.
Do you think that could have affected the way she was with you?
The loss of a child is a very bad thing, and I think she would want to wrap us up in cotton wool and keep us protected, and sort of think, I don't want to hurt this child one bit. I want to look after him. I want to give him what he wants. And
a lot of what you eat is really what a relatively young child would choose to eat. In terms of the food that you wouldn't go anywhere near, are some foods more dangerous than others, more repulsive than others, likely to be more tricky than others?
Yeah. Beetroot after the other day, I had a taste of beetroot, and that was just the foulest thing I've ever tasted in my life. And that's a no-go every year.
What anxiety symptoms do you get?
Yeah, I think it's anxiety. I'm not too sure. It's just the butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah.
Your stomach goes mad. And
that's an anxiety symptom?
Yeah.
What else?
I suppose like all my senses are focused on what I'm doing, even though I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah. Are you actually sick?
It can be. As I said, I've had something on my stomach beforehand, and I tried something new. I would bring everything I've had on my stomach up.
Can you picture yourself in your head sitting down in front of what most people would consider a normal meal?
I've had dreams about it. Making something, me and my partner sitting down and eating something that I've cooked, having friends on, having like a dinner party type of thing.
So there's part of you that's really up for it.
Yeah.
And then there's this other part of you that feels much younger to me, and you're going to have to take that other bit of yourself in hand. Not an impossible thing to do,
yeah.
But you are retraining not only your body but also your brain.
It's almost as if Andrew has these two distinct sides to his personality. One part of him has remained really childlike in his attitude towards new foods, and then there's this other part of him which is much more adult and mature, to the extent that actually he's chosen to become a chef as his chosen profession. Now, if we can strengthen that part of him, who knows what may be possible.
I could relate to a lot of issues that Stephen brought up in the psych cell. Me having a sort of like split personality where I've got like an older part of me and a younger part of me, but the younger part of me has got the big hold on me when it comes to do with food. And that's what I've got to sort out.
The following morning, Andrew is meeting with Natalie to begin the process of weaning him off biscuits.
What I want to do is gather some information in terms of where his boundaries are, but I want him to go away from today feeling really optimistic, and that there are baby steps he can take over the next few weeks to really help him transform his diet.
Andrew knows it means trying new foods, but he's determined to show Natalie he's willing.
I'll try it. If I'm sick, I'm used to being sick, so it doesn't bother us if I'm sick or not. I mean, if I'm not, but all good, I'll be able to continue having that food and trying it more and more and getting to like it.
Andrew, the point of today is for me to find out a bit more about where your boundaries are with food, how much you're willing to push yourself, what's realistic and what isn't, because one of the things about your diet is that you're worried about your future health because of it, but also on a day-to-day basis, I suspect you feel pretty exhausted most of the time.
I'm hyper 1 minute, but most of the time I'm always down and tired and exhausted and I can't be bothered, so
Yeah.
it's like every day.
Andrew tries to compensate for the lack of nutrients in his diet by taking pills and protein shakes. Natalie wants him to start getting his vital vitamins from real food.
Now, vitamin C, do you know what foods you normally find vitamin C in that we've got here?
There's quite a few. I mean, all types of fruit normally have vitamin C in.
Yeah. Oranges are probably the most famous one. I'm going to throw you in at the deep end here. Will you try some?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
A plate of Andrew's favourite biscuits contains over 70 grams of refined sugar, which gives him an unnatural energy spike. By eating oranges instead, Andrew would be slashing his sugar intake with a slow-release form of energy that's full of nutrients.
So I would try that bit there without any skin,
This bit.
that little tiny bit there. There's barely anything to chew. I mean, you can just squish that with your tongue.
I'll be chewing for a long time.
Little by little, I think, is the way to go. You know, we don't want to be really throwing you in at the deep end such that you don't actually succeed.
I'm still battling to swallow it though.
Just do what you
Right.
can.
These are the tiny, tiny little bits I'm getting down.
It's okay. Is it gone?
More or less, yeah.
I didn't expect you to swallow that.
I didn't either.
Under Natalie's supervision, Andrew suddenly finds himself able to swallow a piece of fruit without gagging.
Imagine the look on your mum's face if she'd seen you eat that.
She'd be happy.
I think it's time to try another piece of fruit. What would you like to try next? We tend, as human beings, not to be that gentle with ourselves, or else to chicken out completely. And it's finding the balance that you're comfortable with that's going to actually help you succeed.
It's way down as well. I can't believe I'm doing well so far.
You've clearly got, understandably after 26 years, barriers in your mind about what you can swallow and what you can't. And for some reason, having me sitting there, standing over you in effect, going, "Argh," you're just going for it.
To set Andrew clear targets for when he returns home, Natalie has a little gift for him.
What we've got here is your healthy hamper, and in it are 5 tasks. And they're all building on things that you've started today. So what I'd like is that by the time we next meet, you've achieved all those tasks, or certainly given them a go.
Right, no problem. All 5.
In the past, Andrew's attempts to eat new food have failed, but Natalie's methods demonstrate that small steps will help take him in the right direction.
From what I know about Andrew and from what he's actually told me, he really surprised me today. And he managed to eat a whole piece of orange without gagging, with some coaxing. And on a certain level, it was a bit like coaxing a child. But what I'm hoping is that he will have got some confidence with this, that he really can make a difference.
At first I was thinking, nah, no way, I'm not going to be able to do this. But then I sat down, just took baby steps, just had little bits, and it went down fine.
Natalie has slapped a biscuit ban on Andrew, and his first task is to clear the cupboards of all temptation.
It's a bit bare.
Oh, bye-bye.
It's not easy saying goodbye to his childish diet.
My God, it was an absolute nightmare. Everything's just gone. It's not sinking in yet. It's not happening, so I suppose I'll have to get used to it.
His eyes have been open to what foods there is out there, and obviously healthier foods for him. So hopefully he's going to keep it up and start eating them.
In place of Andrew's chocolate biscuits, Natalie has left some organic, healthy alternatives. He's under instruction to eat them.
Is it all right? Don't think about your biscuits and everything, because you haven't got none.
It's like my heart's been ripped out.
It's not. This is nice, healthy food.
They might only be a variation on a biscuit theme, but away from the experts, Andrew's less keen to try the new food.
Mate, smell that.
That smells nice. Do you not think it looks nice?
No.
Oh, don't think about what that is.
I've thought about it already.
Right, don't look.
No.
Taste.
No, I've got to see what I'm eating.
No, you don't have to. Just think, butter.
That's very nice. Lovely.
He's managed to sort of try them. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll just last on them.
The following day, Stephen and Natalie meet up to discuss Andrew's progress.
It is really striking that Andrew was able, with me, in that kitchen, to eat a little piece of orange. OK, it was only a tiny little piece, but he managed it, and I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
Maybe there's something about being in the situation with you, having a different kind of support there, that actually enabled him to do something that, in most contexts, he really struggles with. For the people that he's grown up with, it's quite hard for them to relate to this problem because it seems so bizarre. And I think there has been real frustration at times, particularly from Caroline, that actually if he's in an environment where there's more understanding, more empathy, then that part of Andrew that is able to do more is somehow released. I mean, it's certainly something to think about.
Determined to give Andrew the best possible chance of success, Stephen heads to Durham for a rendezvous with Caroline and Andrew's mum.
Now, I've brought along a few things with me today which I hope are going to give Anne and Caroline a bit of an insight into Andrew's experience in his world and maybe change the way they approach him. Right, now, the reason I've asked you here today without Andrew is to try and give you a little window into his world. When Andrew is sitting there, turning aside perfectly good food, how does that make you feel?
Annoyed.
Yeah?
The fact that he won't eat it.
Yeah?
You're trying not to show the frustration on your face or the despair.
The food that he should be eating is doing him some good, and obviously the food that he only eats isn't doing him any good. And it's just, obviously me personally, I just think it's not a hard job to sit down and eat a meal.
OK, well, as a guest in your house, Anne, I didn't want to come empty-handed, so I've brought along a selection of foods here which probably aren't part of your normal diet, but which are all, I can assure you, perfectly good, nutritious foods, considered as delicacies in many parts of the world. So, shall I... Anybody fancy a locust?
No, I'm not doing that.
Really not? But why not, Caroline? It's perfectly nutritious food. Okay.
That's the sort of thing I'd be trying to kill.
All right, well, listen, if you don't fancy one of those, can I tempt you perhaps grasshopper?
A grasshopper?
Yeah, just thought to tuck in.
That's something you would examine under a microscope.
So I do hope that you're going to indulge me with my dessert, chocolate-covered scorpion. Any takers?
Oh no, definitely not.
Now, if I was to insist that you put one of those into your mouth, what would be your initial reaction?
Just as soon as you lift that off, just the thought and thinking, oh my God, no way. I suppose if he's looking at sort of something like a steak or something and he thinks sort of getting the same perception as I'm getting looking at those, then yeah, I do understand the fear that Andrew feels.
What I want you to both understand is that, this is a genuinely difficult thing for him, because in order for him to expand his range of foods, he has to overcome reactions like the one that you're having now. Okay, and are you really sure? Really sure? Nobody wants to try anything new?
I'm 100% sure.
I'm actually really pleased with the way that worked. I think it really drove the point home because it helps them to understand what it's like from Andrew's point of view. And I think it may also change the way that they deal with him and address the problem in future.
I'm going to be there for him, but not push him as hard. He's going to take each step as he can do it, basically. And I'll just be there to support him.
Table 10, please.
It's 5 days into Andrew's new grown-up diet. He's been going cold turkey, living off Natalie's healthy crackers and fruit bars.
Feeling quite rough the day, like, since I've been coming off the biscuits. I think it's lack of sugar. I don't think it'd be this bad. I've been just eating sugar for the last, in high amounts for the last all my life. Can't be bothered, lack of concentration. The headache's a nightmare. I mean, with the heat and the smell of food, just makes you feel sick.
Andrew's body is rebelling against him. As he denies it the sugar it's become so reliant on for energy.
I'm feeling very withdrawn. I don't feel like myself. I think I'm even starting to get the shakes a bit. Don't feel very good at all.
Andrew's missing the energy kick he used to get from his biscuits, so Natalie's next task will show him a way to get the same energy, but naturally.
Well, the next time I see you, I want you to have tried an apple, an orange, 6 strawberries, 2 apricots and a banana.
Oh, that's not too bad, is it? That's quite good for you. Like, do what I do, like with my fruit, I cut it all up and put it on a plate and then have a bit of each.
Andrew overcame his childish instincts under Natalie's watchful eye. But will he be able to do it in front of Caroline?
How are you going to do these, like?
Have you never had a banana? Try and, like, just put that in and look at me, talk to me.
I can't do it at the minute.
Can I just talk about anything in general?
No.
So we're going to go out for a meal together and you're just going to focus on your food, concentrate on what you're eating. It'll be the boringest hour I'll ever have in my life.
With Caroline doing her best to keep Andrew relaxed, he manages to make real progress, albeit slowly.
1 banana.
Well done. I'm proud of him for doing it. It took him a long time to eat it, but he did. He ate it all in the end, and he liked it, that's the main thing. So hopefully we'll get him to eat a lot more bananas in the future.
Andrew's childish reactions to food have been ingrained over more than 20 years. Psychologist Stephen wants to do more to encourage Andrew's adult side to take control.
The main problem with Andrew at the moment is that he's caught in a bit of a vicious cycle. As his diet's become more restricted, he's actually sort of learnt to treat food as if it was dangerous, and so now his body reacts as if it is, even though rationally he knows that things like fruit and veg are okay for him. So today, what I'm hoping to do is try and break that cycle a little bit.
Stephen wants Andrew to see how his learned instincts from childhood work against his rational adult mind.
So how have you been getting on?
Quite well, I think.
Yeah? What are the things that are still challenges for you?
Solon's getting a bit easier with the foods I've started to eat. I mean, it still is a bit of a challenge. I still like chewing on too much. Taking little bits at a time. I might have to still have a glass of water with it sometimes to get it down.
That's one of the things that we really want to try and tackle today. You have got very used to treating all unfamiliar foods as if they're potentially dangerous. What I'm going to do today is show you how powerful those kind of automatically learnt lessons can be. Take this bike, just see whether you can get to that plate of biscuits, all right? And if you can get to that plate of biscuits, you have my full permission to have one of you.
The promise of a guilt-free biscuit seems too good to be true. And it is.
Wow. You having some kind of problem there, Andrew?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Stephen's bike has reverse steering and is almost impossible for a beginner to ride.
If you had this bike for long enough, you would be able to learn to compensate for the fact that it's the wrong way round. With your eating, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to help you unlearn that process so that meals are not going to take you forever and a day to get down. Andrew's already proved to himself that he can overcome his childish instincts with regards to food, albeit very slowly at the moment. What I want to do now is teach him a technique that hopefully will really speed up his progress. What I'm going to do, that helicopter over there, I want you to pilot it, and while you do, all right, I, at your command, am going to be popping pieces of fruit into your mouth.
Flying a helicopter and eating the same time. I'm a bloke, I only do one thing at one time.
Well, the eating bit should come fairly naturally, actually.
Andrew normally chews a mouthful of new food over 40 times before even attempting to swallow it. By distracting his childish side with a toy helicopter, Stephen wants the body's natural swallowing instinct to take over.
So how difficult is this to keep flying?
Very.
Okay. And here comes the first thing. Open your mouth, put it in, chew. 1, 2, 3. Keep focusing on that and swallow, please. You're still chewing. Swallow now. It's fine. It's fine for you to do this. Okay. Well done. Well done. That's brilliant. This is a reasonably large chunk, but you should be able to manage it. Open your mouth. Okay. Crunch. 1, 2, 3. Concentrate on the helicopter. Well done. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go for broke and get you to take a bite of this, please, OK? Take a bite. Just a small bite, that's fine. Good, excellent. Concentrate on the helicopter. Chew, chew, chew. No more than 10 times.
It's gone.
It's gone? You're brilliant. You have just eaten a bit of banana about that big and swallowed it.
Champion.
Not with that. Well, you are the champion today. That is fantastic.
A toy helicopter won't be welcome in most restaurants, so Stephen wants to show Andrew an alternative method of distraction.
OK, so I want you to bring your thumb and your forefinger together, all right? And I want you to concentrate your attention. Just close your eyes for a minute and really just concentrate entirely on what you can feel in your fingertips, OK? And I want you to ease the tension off between them just enough so that you're not quite sure whether they're touching or not.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you feel that?
Yeah.
OK. When you're ready, I want you to just open your eyes, pick up the banana and take a bite off the end. All right, go. Pick it up. It's fine. It's safe. You've done this before. I don't want you to feel anything else except what's going on in that right hand of yours. Is this working for you? You're able to kind of continue just to feel that pinpoint contact. OK.
It's working.
Good.
Done.
Very good. Brilliant.
Armed with more practical distraction techniques, the afternoon has been a huge step forward for Andrew.
I didn't think it would work at first, and the distraction, I thought, hey, give it a go, see what happens, and it was really, really good. I was very pleased with myself, and it totally took my mind away what I was doing. I was just eating it, and it went down massive bits, and it was fine. And
I'm actually really pleased with Andrew's progress here today, but of course it's a long way off from eating his way through a whole meal. And in that final challenge, of course, he's going to have to eat in front of his family as well. Mentally, I still think that's his biggest challenge.
With increasing self-belief, Andrew's ready to tackle Natalie's final task.
Eat a whole scrambled egg. You need to learn to get your protein naturally by eating food. Oh, that's not bad.
it is bad. Scrambled with the egg.
I think we'll have for our dinner today scrambled egg on toast.
It's one nice at all.
It's only egg on toast, but this will be the first hot meal Andrew's ever attempted. A big step forward along the road to the final challenge.
It's not that bad. We use a technique or something that Stephen told you to do because you concentrate on too much.
Much better, much easier. I can get it down straight away.
Stephen's technique might be working, but Andrew's lacking in more basic skills.
You don't even know how to use a knife and fork, do you?
I shows now. How do you hold it?
Put your fork into whatever you want to cut. So you want that bit right. Then use your knife and cut down whatever you want. It's not that hard, Andrew.
Oh, man.
And then just put it in your mouth that way on, rather than you sort of trying to have your fork sort of skew it.
I don't know, it's just getting easier, much easier than it was. I don't know what sort of changed in my mind, what I've unlocked. Things seem a bit more clearer now. I don't think I was mentally ready, but now I'm quite determined. And I think, yeah, I'm ready now, and improving that to myself. Every time I do try something, I like it.
Over the last few weeks, Andrew's tried more new food than in the last 26 years. It's an incredible turnaround. He's progressed to hot solid food, but he still hasn't tried anything which could be a main course at the final challenge. This morning, Natalie intends to change all that.
As a chef, Andrew's quite happy to touch fish, cook fish, and deal with fish in the restaurant. But when it comes to eating it, he finds it disgusting, something he simply cannot do. So I think if we tap into the chef in Andrew, then maybe that's a way around this, and that's a way to get him to actually eat fish. So what better place than here, Billingsgate Fish Market.
Hey Andrew, how are you doing?
Not bad, good.
How have you been getting on with everything, with all your hamper challenges?
Doing well, getting there.
Well, we're at Billingsgate, as you've seen. Biggest fish market in the country. What was your first impression when you got here?
It's making a sick of me stomach. The smell and everything. Puts us right off. Feels sick.
Okay, well, you're conquering everything else, so perhaps you can conquer this one.
So I've got to go in there?
You've got to go in there.
Right.
You're going to be all right?
Yeah.
There is almost every variety of fish at Billingsgate.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Really, yeah.
If Andrew can be turned on to fish anywhere, it'll be here.
Bloody hell. Never seen no leg.
Of course, it's not enough for Andrew to just see food. He'll have to eat it too.
Hi, CJ. Hi.
With that in mind, Natalie has arranged a tasting session with top chef CJ Jackson. Andrew will be helping to prepare and season a scallop dish. But with no recipe to follow, he'll have to rely on his taste buds for a change.
Andrew, tell us, when you are cooking in the restaurant, presumably for someone who doesn't actually really know about the taste of many foods, do you actually invent stuff yourself?
I get people to get a lot of menus for some other places. I pinch one up there and I one up there and I'll mix them together and see what happens.
Like cooking by numbers?
Yeah.
You've got a little bit of basil. Tarragon fish is particularly for the summer, it's a really lovely flavour, and you've got some oregano. So if you'd like to have a little think, have a little smell.
I can just sort of see that you're raring to go rather than going, oh, yuck, fish.
I love working with them. It's just the eating part of it, it's a bad thing.
Okay, that's quite enough.
If Andrew can get over his fish phobia, it'll be good for his health. Because while biscuits contain high levels of damaging saturated fat, fish is a great source of polyunsaturated fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids, which are brilliant at reducing blood cholesterol.
That's really nice. The rosemary smells nice. Yeah.
No tiny, tiny prissy bits anymore, though, Andrew.
Yeah, I've got to just to try.
Oh, yeah.
Still haven't swallowed it yet.
Right, okay.
I'm having a bit of problem with it being a bigger piece.
It's all right. It's the first time you've put a piece of anything fishy in your mouth.
It's okay.
You did it. I really wasn't sure that you'd get any of that in your mouth.
Yeah, I think I'm doing quite well so far.
Quite well.
Yeah.
I think that's an understatement. In a way, it didn't really surprise me at all what Andrew's achieved today. He might have been turning up his nose at fish when we started, but by the end he was wolfing down a whole scallop. And I think what it is that Andrew's been determined to show me and himself that he can eat pretty much anything. But what remains to be seen is whether he can actually pull that off when it matters, which is with his family at the final challenge.
The final challenge is fast approaching. Andrew is growing in confidence under the watchful eye of the experts. But he has mixed feelings about eating under the gaze of his family.
I've got a lot of expectation on myself, never mind my family as well, watching us and thinking, is he going to do it? The worst thing that happened, if I don't like any of it and I have to leave it, or I gag at the table, that'd be devastating, like, absolute nightmare.
Andrew's nervous about the event, but not the menu. He's decided he'll serve up a cod dish and a family favourite, Savoy cabbage. It's something he's yet to try. For the first time in weeks, Andrew's body rejects an unfamiliar food.
Just never had Savoy cabbage, never tried it before, and just something new. It didn't taste nice to me at all. It was horrible. I'm like at the table, I don't know what, I'll humiliate myself. I don't know if I can do it now. It's ruined everything at the minute.
Tonight has been a blow to Andrew's confidence, and suddenly the final challenge seems a lot more daunting. Back in London, the experts meet up, and Natalie's quick to tell Stephen all about Andrew's success at Billingsgate.
It was an interesting combination of reactions, because on the one hand, you could just see in his grin, there was this childlike excitement at having made this huge achievement, but then quickly putting himself down. So even though he's achieved something, he's self-deprecating and dismissive of it.
I guess I'm left thinking, to what extent is he really taking ownership of this problem? Is he still stuck in the role of the child? Because I think probably the person who might be able to help us with that is actually Andrew's mum. While she holds herself responsible, of course, it leaves him not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
And until he is able to kind of cross that threshold in his own head, he's still going to be a freaky eater, isn't he?
Today, Stephen is in Durham to meet Andrew and his mother together.
I think Andrew's very nervous about eating in front of his family, and I know that his mum seems to take a lot of responsibility for the eating problem. I'm hoping that if we can resolve this issue with his mother, then that will liberate Andrew to be able to be the adult who perhaps is able to eat more. You were quite surprised to discover some things that came through your mum's message, weren't you?
After all these years, I didn't think you felt guilty and thought it was your fault and everything.
I do. It's just something that's always been there. I mean, I just always felt, well, as I say, guilty because, you know, it's part of a parent's job to give the best to the child and, you know, give them a good, healthy diet. It's what we do.
What do you feel about that, Andrew?
I don't want you to feel that way. I know you will.
I can't help it.
I know,
it's part of a parent's job.
I just don't want you to carry the guilt around with you, that's all.
What was it like for you, Anne, at the time when this eating problem didn't go away?
I felt a little bit as though we actually gave up because we didn't really get anywhere. We didn't want to force you into something, and we didn't really know how to address the problem.
What are you thinking and feeling at the moment?
I still think that because can't believe she carried on all the guilt and everything over the years. And I just don't want you to feel that way.
No. I mean, it upset you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Feels to me like there's been quite a lot of unnecessary guilt on both sides, actually. In Andrew, I believe there is a child who still struggles with some aspects of eating, but the adult part of Andrew has proved to be quite adventurous, quite determined, quite resourceful in terms of addressing this problem. But while you continue to feel guilty and take responsibility, it leaves him, in your relationship, a little bit in that role of the child who won't eat. Let yourself off the hook, because whatever's gone on in the past, this is now his problem, and you need to be clear with that, because you need to release him to own the problem, deal with the problem, and overcome the problem on his own, all right? What does he need to hear from you?
Then, Andrew, I'm handing your problem over to you.
Excellent, Mother.
It's up to you. Yeah. Although I'll back you all the way.
Yeah.
It's me bane.
I know, absolutely. I really hope that after today, Andrew has taken back responsibility for his problem and that the child who got him stuck in this rut is no longer in charge. And my hope is that that's going to help him with the final meal.
Tomorrow, Andrew will face one of the toughest challenges of his life.
Everyone knows I've been doing so well so far. And I don't want to not live up to expectation. Because the last thing I want to do is gag or bring it back up in front of everyone who's watching us. It's the last thing I want to do.
morning of the big meal, and Andrew's up early to prepare today's food. He needs to remain professional, but it's not easy.
Today is a completely different ballgame. He's made up a menu, he's prepared it himself, and then he's going to be sitting down and trying to eat it with his family. There's foods in there he's still not that familiar with, so whether he can do it or not, I mean, I'm still not 100% convinced that he will do it today.
I'm quite nervous at the minute. The cabbage is one thing I don't like. I tried it the other day and I was nearly sick. Brought it back up, but I want to try and change the flavour and just cook it how I like it cooked. Hopefully it should be all right, but it's a gamble for us, like.
As Andrew's family arrive, it adds yet more pressure.
It's a big ask from me. I mean, it's the first time I've ever done this in my life. A massive ask. It's Natalie's fault. She did this to us.
As Andrew reaches for some Dutch courage,
Hello, Chef.
Stephen and Natalie pop in to wish him luck.
You all right?
Just.
Yeah? How are you feeling?
Not too bad, eh? Can you?
Yeah? You look pretty nervous.
I am, quite. I don't know. Head's not there.
You've had really amazing success, and you've got techniques from Stephen to help calm yourself down. And now it's crunch time. Put those all into action and to remember how far you have come. Okay. Shall we leave you to it?
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
See you.
Andrew's serving a meal of cod. It's a long way from a plate of chocolate biscuits, and all eyes will be on him.
I'm nervous for him, but at the same time, I'm really excited because we've never done this.
I just don't know. I've never seen him eat a normal meal before, so I am nervous for him. But I want to see it. I want to see him do it.
The last time, I've never seen him eat anything. Hot ever.
I'll be willing him to eat it. I say 24 years is a long time to wait for this.
That 24-year wait, though, is now over. But will it end in more tears?
Is that not just Dutch courage? He's shaking like a leaf blessing.
Can you?
Oh, putting you off while watching you.
I know.
I think we're just amazed, aren't we?
Having conquered cod, it remains to be seen whether Andrew can conquer the dreaded cabbage.
I had a lot of headache over this the last couple of days. Because I tried it, and I was nearly sick. Right.
I'm overwhelmed that he's had
Andrew has enjoyed his first ever proper meal with his family, and not a biscuit in sight.
That's the most I've ever seen him eat in 30-odd years.
So, what do we have here? A normal family scene, but with a bit of a difference for this family, I guess.
Yes, certainly. Definitely.
Yeah? What's the food like?
Really nice. I can't believe he's done it, and I'm so excited for the future, actually, just being able to stop off somewhere for a meal and not have to think about it, and it'll be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to it.
If you think back to where he started at the beginning of this process, he has done extraordinarily well. I don't know who was more surprised, his family or us, really.
I hope it's just the beginning. I hope this is the start, something you can build on.
They were amazed. They've never seen me eat anything like that ever, and I think they'll be really happy and they're looking forward to the future.
I think, Miss Foster, you are no longer the chef who eats biscuits.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
1 month on, and Andrew feels like a new man.
I think it's sort of like saved my life, virtually. In the future, I thought I was going to have a lot of problems in the future, but now I can sort of like see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Food isn't the enemy anymore. Tackle it on a day-to-day basis and he'll give it a try.
I can taste everything myself now and say, I need a bit more of this or a bit more of that. It's made us a lot more confident in me cooking.
You know, if he likes it, that's one more food he adds to his list. If he doesn't like it, well, that's fair enough.
Andrew's even ventured the other side of the kitchen door and taken Caroline for their first romantic meal together.
Who would you like to order?
Can I have the monkfish and lemon butter, please?
It's brilliant that now he's on healthy food. I can enjoy going out for meals, cooking for someone else. It'd be great.
The sort of relationship I've got with biscuits now, it's still there. I do have a few now and again, but it's nowhere near like all day, everyday thing. I mean, it's made us like more happy in myself. Everything's changed now. I think I can live a normal life.